Recently, I read in Pasa, Corozal that the Corozal Police were being investigated for theft. Really? I have a personal experience. I am David Dorenzo. I was the partner and in Canada the husband of Patricia Lynn, who was murdered on October 29th, 2013 in Consejo Shores, Corozal. As part of their crime scene investigation into the murder, the Corozal Police took almost every piece of technological equipment and anything else of value from the apartment that Patricia Nichiporowicz and I, David Dorenzo, were renting. After repeated requests on or about December 15th, the police finally did provide us an inventory of what they took. They informed us through the Canadian Embassy. And our latest request for the return of these personal belongings and technological equipment, again 8 months after the crime was committed, the police responded through the American Embassy that they had not completed their investigation and provided no timetable for the return of these valuables. At the time of the crime, Dwayne Moody of News 5 reported that the crime on October 29th, that the police stated that the burglary was averted when neighbors heard screams coming from the house. It's interesting, though, that some very valuable equipment was missing from the inventory that the police provided, including 2 Apple laptop computers, a computer tablet, an Apple iPod, and 2 portable phones. Yet, according to the police, a burglary was averted. Well, to continue on here, in the same report, an officer by the name of Daniel Arzu, again of the Corozal Police Department, is quoted as saying, in the same news report that Dwayne Moody made, that the motive as it is right now is still undetermined, but my assessment so far, it seems to be a home invasion with a quick response of the neighbors. I believe that the person who attempted that entry or persons who gained entry to that building were extremely distracted and they had to quickly flee that crime scene. They were distracted by the presence of the neighbors. From information gathered, the neighbors were alerted by screaming, by yelling, a form of panic yelling, and they responded because, you see, those people in that area are much into the neighborhood watch. And person or persons attacking were distracted and they probably fled. Again, he says, we observed that they have iPods. They, meaning Patricia and I. iPods, cell phones, expensive stuff with a premise that, and that tells us that it has to be a distraction, even if the persons were there to rob or steal. I am sure that they were distracted by the response of the neighbors who live nearby, quote unquote. It's interesting that when the Corozal Police did finally provide an inventory of what they took from the apartment in their crime scene investigation, and they did finally report to us, provide us an inventory on December 15th, that the iPod, 2 Apple laptop computers, a tablet computer, and 2 portable phones were missing from that inventory list. Again, note that Mr. Arzu specifically stated that there was an iPod in the apartment, yet it was not on their inventory list. Also note that the neighbor reported to me that he saw a policeman carry and deposit a computer from the crime scene into a police vehicle. Ladies and gentlemen, I will let you draw your own conclusions, but it certainly looks like a police theft to me. When the Corozal Police finally provided an inventory of what they took from the apartment in their crime scene investigation on or about December 15, 2013, again, let me repeat myself, the iPod, 2 Apple laptop computers, a tablet computer, and 2 portable phones were missing from the inventory list. Again, note that Mr. Arzu specifically said that there was a lot of expensive equipment in the apartment, and it seemed to be untouched. So where did those items disappear to? Again, I will let you draw your own conclusion. Please also be aware that the perpetrator had to climb up a second-story balcony and jump down from that balcony to leave, as the police reported that the entrance to the balcony was locked. In fact, in order to get access to the crime scene, the police needed to find a ladder to climb up to the second-story balcony. Another expat acquaintance who has been following crime in Belize for some time noted to me that the Corozal Police have not apprehended one perpetrator who has robbed or committed any kind of physical crime against a North American expat in Corozal. And he believes that the police may be and possibly are complicit in a crime wave against expats in Corozal. I informed the OC, the gentleman conducting the investigation, Andrew Ramirez, back in December through the Canadian Embassy of the missing Apple laptops, iPod, tablet computer, and portable phones from the police inventory. And lo and behold, I have yet to receive a response. It's been 10 months. Within 2 weeks of the crime, I tried to contact the Corozal Police to provide them, to ask questions, and along with a lot of other information, provide them with a list of valuables that were in the apartment so they could make a determination if anything was stolen. They refused to talk to me. The Corozal Police continue to insist on holding all the valuables and equipment they collected at the crime scene on October 29th. And it is an extensive list of valuables. And they intend to hold them until they complete their investigation. Ladies and gentlemen, to my knowledge, there is no investigation. There never was an investigation. And they intend, in fact, to hold the valuables forever. I believe that much of what they have taken is gone, sold, kept, for whatever they could get for it. It's interesting that the most valuable things that they took, the computers, the iPods, and the phones, turned out to be the most marketable. That Andrew Ramirez, the officer in charge, is doing the investigation is laughable. Would you leave the fox investigate the chicken coop for missing chickens? Well, I think that's a pretty good analogy of what's happening here. I have more important questions for an independent investigator. I would like to know if the police are complicit in all the home invasions and crimes, particularly against American expats. I would also like to know what the status of Patricia's murderer is. Is that investigation really in process? Is there an investigation? The family and I believe that the perpetrator will never be caught and that there is no ongoing investigation. What do you think? I am David Dorenzo. I was Patricia's roommate, lover, soulmate, best friend, and she mine. I will never get over this, and I will never stop until we get some truth and justice here. Thank you for listening. You will hear more if you're interested. Bye for now.